How's it going, YouTube? It's Panda time. In this video we have what I think is Imperial, might be Armor Rush, probably Imperial, against BlackWarGrey. I really like the BlackWarGrey deck, and it's one that I haven't been able to feature just yet, so I definitely want to get some games on the channel. I know there's a couple of different ways to build it, you know, people trying all sorts of wacky, crazy stuff. I think the potential is definitely there, and having a card that has so much tamer hate, you know, packed into one card, I think it's pretty exciting. So we're gonna see what this build is like. We have rookies from both players. Gonna go into the promo Agumon. Hopefully the color is not too bad. We see the Aggro Reveal, we see a Gravity Crush, so yeah, you can already see there definitely is some spicy tech in this list. I mean, there is no like set list at the moment, everyone's trying to figure it out, right? So at this moment, it's cool to see what people are doing. Gonna be swinging with the Beamon and then playing Mimi. So Mimi does work because, you know, Peldramon is a green Digimon, as is Dino B. But I don't know if I agree with the Beamon swing, kind of just leaving it out there suspended, could easily get wrecked. We're gonna see a Digivolution into the Metal Greymon, which is another really powerful card, right? Gets the Digivolution and then the pop, and then on top of that it has such a powerful inheritable. And we're seeing a hard drop Beamon. Doesn't want a Digivolve in the back. I guess you might be thinking of like next turn he could swing, Digi the Beamon going to Jogger shenanigans, right? Not bad. However, could go into a BlackWarGrey, yeah, and pop the Digimon, right? In this case, I think like just because you can't pop the tamer doesn't mean you always should. I think taking out the Beamon there is definitely the better play. And already we see a very strong stack with the BlackWarGrey. He doesn't have the blocker on it, but you know, a bunch of other good effects anyway. Beamon's gonna swing, hits into a Nokia. I do love Nokia, of course. Nokia gets the Agumon on play, which is really good in security. You know, you get to summon extra body. Gonna take the BlackWarGrey, the promo one, another card that I'm a big fan of. And now it's kind of awkward because like he definitely was set up for Jogres, but because the Beam got cleared, it's rough, man. Like in this meta, I talk about this a lot. Anything you like play, it's going to get wiped, right? It's very tough. You want to try and make sure the way Digimon is these days that like your plays are guaranteed, basically, right? Like hoping that something survives on the board, it just tends to not work out most of the time. Into the Magnumon, which gets the restand, and it is going to be a blocker, but you know, this is not an armor deck, so not going to be heavy on the DP. Definitely be dealt with for sure. Still has 5 security and a Mimi setup though, so maybe not the worst. You could maybe try and set up some sort of comeback, but it's definitely going to require like next turn hatch. Has to actually just pass, which definitely feels terrible. We see so many Agus on the board. Greymon can swing. So he's swinging at it, I suppose, right? He could choose to block, but it's getting swung at. So it doesn't die, but then when he kills the Beamon, then the BlackWarGrey will restand, right? Well, if he doesn't block, wouldn't it still be unsuspended, right? And then maybe he wouldn't have a way to clear it. Still has the Nokia to work with and 3 bodies, plus memory as well. Kind of a funny interaction there. Definitely want to get the restand on the BlackWarGrey. I mean, it's not really needed, but like it's free, right? You might as well take it. Can tap the Nokia to discount the Digivolution. Nokia is so strong in the BlackWarGrey deck. One of like the drawbacks, if you will, is like the Evols are so expensive in that deck. But Nokia obviously helps with that. Okay, so the Beamon gets punched over. That's going to restand the BlackWarGrey. Yep. And I mean, at this point, 4 Digi against 0, like sure, there's a Mimi, doesn't really do anything. Opts to not go aggressive, interesting. I wonder what he's scared of in security. Because like, I think 6k is a good number to be swinging at this point, especially when like you're so ahead and you want to close the game out. I think like the one way he would lose this game is giving his opponent some time to set up. Because, you know, with enough setup, there could still be like, you know, jamming Beamon, Peldramon, swing shenanigans. So I don't know, I think like when you have the lead, you definitely can play safe, of course, but you want to close the game out, right? You don't want to give your opponent so much time. That said though, like, you know, his board is pretty good. It is unlikely going to be Mega Deathin on the BlackWarGrey. I guess that's another good thing about the Mimi, right? Because usually you can't play Mega Death unless you have the Peldramon, but with the Mimi out there and blue, I guess it's easier to play, right? So that works out. Gonna go into Chimeramon for the Jogres. It's gonna kill the Beamon. You can also use the effect to put something from the trash under it, which I think he forgot to do. It's actually super relevant because you get extra sources. Now he goes BlackWarGrey, which is pretty big. Oh, okay, he's gonna do it. Yeah, he does remember. Technically, you know, incorrect timing, but yeah, it works out. Yeah, so I like this. Like the BlackWarGrey one is super sick, and especially after the Chimerma, like, oh man, you can get so much out of it. He didn't have security plus, but you definitely can give it to him, right? So like, you can make this push and just go for game. He just swings like 50 times. Doesn't think I'm about to go for game right away, but at this point, there's nothing in security for the Imperial player. And remember when I talked about giving him time? This is definitely not gonna give him any time to set up. Gonna set up in the back just in case. Gonna go into another. No, doesn't play the Agumon. Instead goes into a Metal Greymon. Make sure he has plays for next turn. At this point, there have to be some crazy shenanigans for him to win this game. I'm trying to think of like, how would it even be possible? And I can't think of a way. Okay, Lydramon, swing, survives. I don't know how I don't know how he would ever win this game. I guess if he had like 2 Hammer Sparks, Stingmon, Jogress, swing, he'd still be missing 1, right? He'd still be missing 1 attack. Triple Hammer Spark, well, I mean, that's that's the start of any comeback, of course. But no, as soon as he has to play something that's not like immediate, like the Stingmon, that's a wrap, right? Beamon is a little bit too slow there. I guess we can imagine what his hand was like. He was probably holding those Hammer Sparks the entire game, which again, you know, like could have been used to make a great comeback. But the promo BlackWarGrey came in, swung, closed the game out, and now we're going to the game 2. You see Imperial starting off. Rookie, pretty good. I think there's just so many Beamons, right? So many good Beamons. I'm trying to get the Beamons from the Tamer box too. I want to get more of those. If you guys have any of those, trade them to me, please. Okay, gonna pick up the Beamon. Not a bad start, right? Rookie in the back, rookie in the front. Get some Surge. Well, I like that Coromon. That Coromon alt art is so good. I kind of wish I kept mine, but it is what it is. And then just set up a Marcus. I do like Marcus in the deck, but you know, there's so many good red tamers you can play technically. Like, playing Tai wouldn't be incorrect. You can even play Hero too, right? Swings into an Agu. Kind of going very aggressive. I'm not sure if I necessarily like that. Like, a body could be a level 4, and level 4 could be a Paildramon, right? But I guess he's gonna replace with the Watermelon, and you don't want to go too crazy and overextend into like a Crimson Blaze or something. It's the Hard Drop Greymon, which is definitely less than ideal. No rookie for BlackWarGrey. Oh, he gets suspended. Yeah, that's a feels bad. This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, you play a body, like it's just going to get cleared. So I feel like more than ever now, like having the rookies is so crucial, so you can build in the back and set up. And it also makes me curious because I see so many lists of just anything these days. Like, I feel like people are playing less and less rookies, just being so greedy with their list. But such is life. Okay, swings with the jamming, gets the card draw. Does he not have another level 4? I guess not. Everything's swinging though. There's the Stingmon. And yeah, I guess that's a wrap. Very, very quick game 2. I guess that's the power of the Imperial, right? Like, kind of just went Rookie Rush, had the Stingmon, Imperial, swing, that's a wrap. It was definitely not a great start for BlackWarGreymon. He didn't have a rookie, he had to hard play his champion, and then as I was saying, it instantly got swung over. So now it's 1-1, we're going into game 3 here. Once again, Imperial starting off, has the Beamon. Like the one in the back, not bad, pretty good card. Okay, we do have a rookie this time. Interesting choice of the Agumon, the EX collection one. Let's do search for Agumons and Tamers. I mean, I guess like you play a good amount of Tamers because you play Nokias, right? So like when you're swinging with the Agumon as an inheritable, you're gonna be able to pick up something. I kind of like it. There are a good amount of Agumons you can definitely play, and you definitely want to play essentially only Agumons because you play the Nokias. But Agumon is, you know, main character, so he has so many cards to choose from. I guess it makes sense though. I haven't really seen it on a list though, so I wonder how it works out for him. Next time I see him, I might have to ask him. Digimon swings into a Marcus first check. That definitely feels pretty good, right? Or pretty bad, I guess, depending on where you're sitting. First check Tamer always hurts. And we hard drop in Milky Betamon. I feel like people are not really playing Milky Betamon anymore. Not only does it die for free, but I mean, it's not a Beamon, right? So interesting decision there. We're getting 6k. You can actually tap the Marcus, get the memory, and get the search from the aggro. So yeah, you can already see the EX Agumon definitely putting in work. The fact that Greymon is 6k is a big deal. And I guess he thinks like, do I just trade my Agumon? I think you do, right? Breeding Chimeramon perhaps? Yeah, you could just Digimon to Chimeramon naturally and wipe the board. Okay, gonna Jogress. Yeah, Chimera's gonna kill everything. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, you're playing with Okibetamon, like, what did it do? It doesn't do anything, right? Like, it just literally dies for free. It doesn't actually stop anything. And he goes into the promo BlackWarGreymon once again. So very aggressive play, really solid line, super spooky. This time around, Megadeth is not being able to be played because he doesn't have a green source on the board. So I think that's relatively safe. That's pretty much the only removal that these Imperial decks have. And once again, just be building. And has to pass. That's a yikes for me. Yeah, so oftentimes like when Imperial has their line, they just like do everything, no wasted movement, and it's like super quick. But if you have to like be playing this Beamon to get your searches, you know, it might not be that great. Gets the swing, hits into a tamer, but he's got Digiburst, restand for days. There's memory from Marcus to work with as well. I think like you might be thinking like, okay, how safe or greedy do I want to get? But I don't know, man. What is he scared of, right? Already hit into a dual tamer. I guess could definitely play it relatively safe, just set up for next turn game. Okay, I do like that. Like, he made a good push and he doesn't have to risk hitting into like a Davis, which could actually be disaster. It's like, okay, the dual tamer, although an insane card, in this case it's not that great, right? It only gives me one more memory. It's only a Beamon, which is honestly not doing too much these days. I like the Altart Agumon. You got that one from the pre-release event, right? It looks kind of nice. I don't like love those backgrounds where it's just like metallic, but I like the fact that it's hollow, so I guess we'll take it. But Agumon does have another Altart though. I like the Event Pack 2 one better, but it is nice. Okay, you're gonna auto promote to gain the memory. But I mean, what could you do with 3 memory? Not a lot, to be honest. He's far away from Jogress shenanigans. And I would imagine he doesn't have a triple Hammer Spark this time around. Yeah, the dual tamer is crazy though, especially with hidden potential. Leads to some disgusting plays, that's for sure. Digimon into a Stingmon. Hey, there's hidden potential I was talking about. So you can rest your own Digimon, but then you tap to restand. It's actually really stupid if you ask me. Like, it negates the whole drawback of hidden potential, right? And then you're giving it to essentially a blue deck, which just doesn't feel fair. He swings, but BlackWarGrey had blocker, right? I guess it's one of the reasons why he didn't want to Digiburst. One of the things that Imperial can't struggle against is like big blockers that are over 8k basically. So that's definitely a bit of a misplay, and honestly, that should be game. I can't imagine him coming back from that. Promo BlackWarGrey can still swing twice. He's got Nokia and Marcus to work with, so memory for days. Yeah, goes into the Greymon for essentially 0. Always love that line of play. I mean, he could clear the Beamon, could also go for game. Well, I guess he has the Inheritable anyway, right? Hit into an Ice Wall, but might not matter. He definitely should have tapped the Marcus, right? Yep. A little bit late, honestly. Like, if that was a big tournament, I'd be like, no, bro, you missed it. But whatever, it's locals, right? Interesting, the Metal Gray just to Memory Choke at 1. Okay, so doesn't want to go for game this turn. Figures that there's really nothing for him to fear, and I respect that. Like, literally 1 memory with nothing on board, good enough. Now surely there's no way he doesn't win this game, right? Gonna clear out the dual tamer, swing into another tamer. Oh, that's Digimon for you. Alright, but I mean, this really should be game, right? Let's not overcomplicate this. Yeah, Greymon swings, and that's gonna be game. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.